Okay, so the lesson is about lesson 17. So lesson 17, complex solutions. So we need to know what are the complex solution in a quadratic. So here the learning target is let's find complex solution to quadratic equation by completing the square method. Okay, let's see. The first one is 17.1. So all you're supposed to do is match the first column, the second column, and the third column. So what we will do is we'll do one at a time. The first one. Okay, okay, let's do the first one. And I like to copy this question right on top. Uh, so this one, let's copy here. So x squared uh, minus 25. The first thing I will do is we need to solve this, right? So you add 25 both sides. So adding 25 this side and 25 this side, and then I put a line across, and you can see 25 and 25 crosses out, and you end up getting x, drop down the x square equals 25. And you can use your common sense, and you know the answer already. Okay, some will say different stat different strategies are used is if you have x square is 25 and it's a positive number, you know that uh, by taking the square root both sides, like see, this is what you've been doing. So if you take the square root both sides, you want to make sure you have to write two answers. One is uh, plus and minus 5. It means the values of x is either minus 5 or x equals plus 5. So two answers. That means this answer straight away gives you this one. See, this one is right here. So you know the in the first, actually there are three columns here. All we are supposed to do is try to match which first column row, let's say first one is clearly matching this one. So you got two answers, 5 and minus 5. Now we can, how do we know the middle part, the middle column? From here we can write down, I'll put an arrow to show that what is the meaning of x minus 5 equals, sorry, so x is minus 5, right? Basically, what is the meaning of x is minus 5 is if you add plus 5 both sides, you end up getting x plus 5. So so one of the factors is x plus 5 is 0. See? And the other one is x equals plus 5. And if you subtract both sides by minus 5, you get x minus 5 is equal to 0. Both are 0. So this also is 0, that also 0. And when you multiply x plus 5 into x minus 5, and the answer is 0. So you get this answer also matches this one. So simple. So so this matches. So this is how it works. Or you could also do another way is take this off and say, okay, it means we got the answers like this. So we started with this one, this matches here, and then this matches here. See, this is how. Uh, okay, so I hope that I made sense, right? Now we could skip a lot of steps here. If you really understand, we don't have to write everything. It's like because we sometimes get confused. I'm trying to show all this, each and everything to show why and how. Let's do the second one. The second one is x squared minus 5 equals 0. Step 1, let's uh, add plus 5 both sides. And if you add plus 5 both sides, x square is because this crosses out and you get plus 5. And then take the square root both sides. So taking the square root both sides, because square and square root, they are inverse of each other. It means they cancel out. It means you just get x equals. So basically what that means is this square root and this 2. So those of you who get confused, it is about all should know that whenever we have square root and there is a b square, the answer is always b, or also another way is if you have a square root b and if you square, also the answer is b. It means this and this crosses out. So square and square root always cross. That's the fundamental rule there where we forget, but I'm just right. Okay. So now we got two answers here because when you take plus, it is plus and minus, right? So this is plus square root of 5 because we don't know what is square root of 5. And the other answer is x equals minus. These are the two answers. So if you see 100%, you know, this one matches all the way here. See, we know it matches there. But what about the middle one? So from here, we can write two factors here directly. By from this step, we can write down opposite of root 5 is minus root 5 is one factor multiplied to the other one. Opposite of minus root 5 is plus root 5. So it's like writing quadratic equation in factored form. This is also called factored form because once you know these answers that you got, these are called zeros of the quadratic equation. Zeros. Those of you forgot. So zeros basically means the also x-intercepts where the graph crosses the x-axis. So we got two answers here. So now I'm going to use different color to show that we started with this and we ended at this one, and from here you go all the way here. Now many of you just do the arrow thing, and when you okay. The, the third question is this piece. Okay, so the first step is let's solve it. So I'm going to write it again. Let's subtract 25 both sides. So subtract 25 this side, subtract 25 this side, and you get x squared equals negative 24. And you know, a square cannot be negative. You remember the trick I showed. If you have x squared is minus b, then x is directly we learn that it is the square root of the b along with the I. And the reason is where the heck this I is imaginary unit square root of minus 1. Okay, and that's what we have learned in earlier classes. Now there's no time. I just try directly, should be knowing that. Now once you get this piece, so when you take the square root, let's take the square root of this both sides. So if I take square root of this, and that has to be plus and minus, so your answer is x equals, because the square root and the 2 crosses out, so you're left with plus minus, and square root of 25, negative 25 is, you put it as 25, it is square root 25 outside times I. Watch this I. So in other words, you have it equals plus minus. Square root 25, you already know what number multiply itself to give 25. It is 5 because 5 times 5 is 25. That's why, right? So the square root of 25 answer is 5, and there is I. So the two answers are, there are two answers. One is x is plus square, sorry. So one is 5i, so it is 5i, and the second one is minus 5i. See how beautiful? And that's why this matches, this thing matches here. So this goes all the way here. So this matches here, but we also have to know why the other answer, right? Why this answer? Can I show with the help of a color here? The green. This goes here, and then this goes right here. So the reason is the moment you have the two values, these are the two values, we can write in the factored form like this. See, the factored form basically means we put x and x, and these are called the zeros. These are called the zeros. The only thing they are not going to be x-intercept. They are called roots or zeros or the solution. All you do is just the opposite. Opposite of plus 5i is minus 5i, and opposite of minus 5i is plus 5. So this is how we write in the factored form. So we get the answer, that the one that we show, and we are done. That's all it is. So this is a factored form. These are the two complex zeros. These are called two complex zeros because we don't have a real solution. Two complex solution. Uh, this is called, these two example are two real solution. These are two real numbers, real solution, distinct. Okay, they are not repeated. Sometimes you will see in the next lesson, next exercise, some of the uh, solutions are repeated. We call it a multiplicity 2, like that. So this helps. Okay, in this case, are the equations real or not? So the first one, I'll write it here to make a room nice so that you can see x minus 5, the whole square. And the answer says it is 0, right? So we want to know when is this going to be 0? So basically, you can use your common sense and say, hey, the only way this can be 0 is either it is plus 5 and the minus 5, right? But I want you to write the steps. So this is common sense and you know the answer, but we'll try to use the square root. And that is, take the square root this side, take the square root this side, and plus and minus. Okay? This is always to be done like this. So first, if there is a square, take the square root, because square root and square crosses are like this. See, this becomes b. So the reason to do this is the left side becomes x minus 5, and the right side is plus or minus the square root of 0. And what is square root of 0? It is 0. And the question is why? Because 0 times 0 is 0. That's why. Okay. So we say this answer is 0. But it doesn't even matter. So it means plus or minus 0 does not have a sign, so just put a 0 like this. Okay, and then we have add plus 5 both sides. So adding 5 both sides, and the answer is this crosses out and you get x. What does this basically means? What one is the solution? It means, yeah, so the only way this is 0 like this. I hope I made sense. If you want to go a little beyond this, what basically this means is there are two equations here. One is the first equation is x minus 5 the whole square, and the second equation is the right side y1 is 0. It means the y is 0. It means the first equation is a parabolic form because there's a square and there is a, it goes through 5. See, we got a, it is a translated graph, like something like this. See, and you can see this is how it is. And what is the meaning of the second graph is, I'll use a green color. What does this mean? It's a horizontal line through through 0, which happen to be x-axis. So it happens to be x-axis. That's the understanding of that. This 0. It means your x-axis itself is the this one is the y equals 0. Equation of x-axis is y 0. And what is this x equals 5 basically means the purple graph and the green graph, they touch each other. They don't cross two places. Sometimes you make it like this, that two places, but in this case, it's just one place, one solution. I hope uh, this makes sense to you. So that's the understanding means of the graph. Y is x minus 5 the whole square. Remember, this is a translated graph of y equals x squared, the parent graph of square function. This is a square function, which is a parabolic, and it's shifted. The original graph is maybe the pink one. This is the pink one that is through 0, and the one that I did is purple is shifted uh, 5 places to the right. So don't worry about that marking. I made a mistake maybe. There's a 1, 2, 3, and then there's a 4, and then 5. That's why. So it's like the original square function shifts 5 units to the right, and you're done. So this is about the first problem. Okay, let's do the second equation and rewrite here x minus 5 the whole square equals 1. Step 1, let's take the square root both sides. So taking square root both sides, and when you take both sides, make sure you put a plus and minus. The square root and this green, see the green color I'm using to show they cancel each other because they are inverse of each other. So what are you left with is x minus 5 is plus minus, and square root of 1 is 1. Okay. Remember, square root of 1 is 1. Square root of 4 is 2. Square root of 9 is 3. Square root of 16 is 4, and like that, right? I hope I'm making sense. And then add plus 5. Okay, put a line, cross out this one. What I left is drop the x, and you get 5 plus minus 1. So you have two answers here, one with plus. So this I'll write two arrows to show that x is 5 plus 1, and the other one is x is 5 minus 1. But x is 5 plus 1 is 6, and this is 4. So you have two solutions for that equation. This equation has two solutions. So what that means is the graph which was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Remember, the left side is a parabolic shape like this. Okay. So it is a parabolic shape, but then we want to know where the heck is the graph intersects. This one means the y is 1. We want to know when is it going to be intersecting 1. So this may be the one. So we want to know where does it cross, and you can see this. It exactly crosses at 6, and crosses at 4. So that's the understanding of the meaning of that. Okay, so the green color is, okay. So this is the line which is y equals. So this line is y equals 1. So it's a horizontal line through 1, and you'll see the red graph, the parabolic shape. This equation is the parabola. This is a parabola, and this is a line. So both the line and the parabola, they cross each other at 2 points, and the 2 points is this one, and this one. See those 2 points at axis 4 and axis 6, right? So there you go. Okay, let's go to the third one is here. Let me copy it like this so that I have enough room to write. So it is x minus 5 the whole square. Remember the left side means it is the graph 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It is the parabolic shape like this. And now you're asking, the question is now, when is this going to be minus 1? So we want to know when is this going to be minus 1. We want to know the line is minus 1 is like this. This is minus 1. So this is, and you can see they don't cross each other. So the green line, which is y is minus 1, and the parabolic shape y is x minus 5, the whole square. These two things, they don't cross. So there's no solution. There's no real solution. We just said no real solution. But okay, and that's why we'll get complex solution. The first step is, do you have to draw a graph? No. Put a square root both sides. Everybody do part. So that's the first step. Okay. Then we have x minus 5 equals plus minus square root of minus 1. And we all know what is square root of minus 1. Square root of minus 1 is an imaginary. Definition is it is I. It is represented by I, imaginary unit. So all you do is, uh, I'm going to add two things together. I'm adding 5 both sides. So adding 5 both sides will cross out this and you get 5 plus or minus. And instead of square root of minus 1, I'm going to put I there. See? So your two answers are, which are not real, they are complex because they have I. So one is with plus I, and the other answer is 5 minus I. And you're done. So those are called two complex solutions. So it means there are no real. So every student you will see it does this work. They know this, but do they understand visuals? So visual understanding helps to know exactly what's going on, because the pink color parabolic shape and the green line, you can see here what I showed here, the green line there, this line and the pink shape parabolic shape, they don't cross each other, so they don't intersect, and that's what that means. Did you get this? What I was doing, Alessandra? Did you get the C part? This is the C part, right? So the two. So for the ACT, are they going to ask you everything? No, they just want to. They will give you choices. Answer like this. These are the two answers. 5 plus. And you can also use your common sense by just looking at it also. So when you take a square root, all this mental math for the ACT you can do and get the answer without showing the work. Make sense? So, okay, let's move on to 7.3. We're almost there. Okay, I want to take, we'll get a lot of time for you guys to do, but let me finish this. Okay. So go to this one. I'll make it bigger. Okay, yeah, 7.3. Here. So I'm recording. Oh, I was recording. Hmm? Let me stop. Now look at this. So first step is we are going to use call something definition. We are going to use is complete. Can you underline this? Completing the square. What does this completing the square method means? The number that is the number that you see always. Think of whether is this number a perfect square. Question is the number 13 a perfect square? Now what is the meaning of per perfect square? Numbers are 1, 4, 9. See, these numbers are called perfect square, and you know the reason, because if you take the square root of each one of them, it is 1. Square root of 4 is 2. Square root of 9 is 3. So we all have this knowledge, and these numbers, that's why are called perfect square. So this 13 is not a perfect. This 13 is no, not a perfect square. So, so can we get away with this 13 from left side? First step is, if it is a perfect square, you could directly get this kind of, maybe even though sometime it is, then you have to also make sure this number something different. Anyway, this problem first subtract 13 both sides. Can you see? So 13. I'm using a Mexican style here. If you see this, not the American style where minus 13 is written at the bottom, but this becomes easier to like this. So first step is take away 13 from both sides. So that balances, right? Drop down the remaining. So what crosses out is this 13 and this crosses out. So you get x squared minus 8x equals minus 13. What do you do next is you want to, can we make this as a perfect triangle? Or how can we make this? Can this be uh, changed to perfect trinomial? Now, what is perfect trinomial? To those who forget, is you want to make sure that there should be third term. See, there's something is missing here. You see, there's a put a box here. So what I'm going to write one more time: x squared minus 8x plus, and I'm going to put a box here. If you put some number there, you have to also put on the right side. So the question is, what goes in the box? That part is always take the coefficient of x, that is the middle number. If you have x squared minus bx, okay, and you want to know what goes here to make it perfect square, the formula is b over 2, and you just square and you get the answer. Now in this example, the number b is minus 8 here. It is minus b here. So b is minus 8. So minus 8 divided by 2. If you square this, you get negative 4 square. And negative 4 is positive 16. So we add up 16 both sides. So you put 16 this side and 16 this side. So this is kind of always the rule to get a perfect trinomial. And the reason is the perfect trinomial now can be written as a square of the binomial. The goal is to write the square of a binomial. Now, if you remember in lesson 16, we have done that. What is perfect trinomial and how do you write that? Okay. So this whole thing now, because this is a perfect trinomial, we can write this as x minus 4 the whole square direct. And, and this turns out to be negative 13 and plus 16 is plus 3. So this is going to be plus 3 here. Okay. So the difficult part is maybe, hey, how do you get this square of a binomial? What is this square of a binomial? Now, we're almost there. I'm taking little time so that we can comprehend what I'm doing here. Next is you take the square root both sides. Now, take square root both sides. So when you take the square root both sides, it's like x minus 4. So it's like this. So you take a square root here and also this side. But remember, you have to take plus and minus. So x minus 4 is plus minus square root of 3. But we don't know what is square root of 3. We leave it that exactly the same and then add 4 here. So add plus 4 both sides. So I will add maybe here 4 like this. So adding for both sides. So I'm using again Mexican style where I can just put there instead of writing down, and this crosses are you say x equals 4 plus minus square root of 3. So there are two answers here. One is 4 plus root 3 and the other one is 4 minus root 3. What it means is two real solution, two distinct real solution. Or we say two distinct real solution which are irrational solution also. These are also called irrational because there's a irrational because there's a radical root 3. That's why I call two real solution or two rational, two irrational, two distinct irrational solution. So I hope you got, okay. If you see this piece, okay. Let me do it right here since this is quite big, right? So I subtract 19 here on the right side. I'll do it right here. The reason is put a line across. Many students don't like to put this line and say, hey, we don't need Rebella to do. I say, no, you're right. Drop this, okay, and equals minus 9. So we do the same thing because this one is the same that, the formula we do. What are we adding both sides? It is always square half of the b, which is minus 8, which we did this in the earlier step. So I don't want to write everything, which is 16, okay? So basically, you're adding both sides. The next step is better. We write x squared minus 8x equals. So you're adding plus 16 and plus 16. This is called completing the square method. Now, this is a perfect trinomial. Okay? And the perfect trinomial is if you have a squared minus 2ab plus b squared. This is called perfect trinomial. We can write it like this. See? This is like a formula which you did long back, algebra 1, and still we forget. So that's what we write directly saying, okay, it is x minus 4 the whole square, and this is minus 3. Okay. So to those of you who forget, the formula is right there. This is the one. So perfect, what is this called? Perfect trinomial. Okay. And now take the square root both sides. So I'll put a square root here, but plus plus. And make sure I put plus and minus there. And the square root and two crosses are, and you end up getting x minus 4 equals plus minus. And remember, there's a minus under the radical sign. And whenever you have a radical inside, you just put square root of 3 and an I outside. Then solve for x. So add for this side, and I will add plus for this side so that this crosses out. I get x equals, instead this 4 I'll write first and then plus or minus square root of 3i. 3, it is actually square root of 3 times I. So there are two answers here. The first answer is 4 plus square root of 3i, and the other one is 4 minus square root of 3i. See how beautiful. So if you can do this, so nice it is, right? Okay. So what are these two called? Two complex solution. Not only this, you have to know also they are conjugate of each other. Conjugate means they look similar. Look at this. They both look similar except that they have the plus and minus, and that's why they are called conjugate roots. So there's another vocabulary word, conjugate. Conjugate of each other. I think I spelled it wrong. Conjugate. Conjugate. What is conjugate means? One of the I is plus, the other one is minus, and that's why they are called conjugate of each other. Okay. So that's the kind of so so if there is a one complex solution is a complex number, then the other one is just a changing the minus. So the ACT they ask you a simple question. One of the solution is this one, and they ask you what is the other solution. All you do is change the plus to minus or minus to plus. That's the conjugate. Okay. So now, this one is only asking you not much work you're supposed to do because you already worked hard. This is what we already done. If you see the back page, go to the back page. If you remember, I'll just do quickly. We did this work and we got the answer as x squared minus 8x equals minus 13. And then we added 16 on both sides. Check your previous problem, and then we got x minus 4 the whole square equals 3. And when you take the square root, both the side, you ended up getting two answers with plus root 3 and the other one. So these are called two, two. So the question is how many real solutions? So there are two real solutions, two real solutions. I can even write two, another word to you, distinct. Distinct means they are not the same. Two distinct irrational solution. Okay. Okay. And the next one they was the B part was everything was the same. Instead of plus, they gave you the plus 16, I think. What was this? And B part, let me the B, what is the question B there? So the first one is done. What is the B? Oh, it was 16. Oh, this one is already, see this, so this piece is already up. This is already a perfect square. What that means is we can write directly x minus 4 the whole square is equals 0. And the reason is if you take a half of minus 8 and square, it is negative 4 squared, it is 16. And this 16 is right here, see? So we don't have to do nothing. It's just straight away we can write the perfect trinomial. This is perfect trinomial, and the perfect trinomial is written as a square of the binomial. And then put the square root both sides. So you get x minus 4 is plus minus 0, and adding 9, you get just a 9. So it means this is one real solution. One real solution. So one real solution basically means it is a repeated one. It's the same thing, x squared equals 4. You see the graph of this is something like this. At 4, 1, 2, 3. This is the next question. You will see they're asking you the graph means this is how the, what song is that? Okay, let me do it. Okay. So this problem we already worked out. If you check back your problem that we solved, I think it is 17.3 or 17.2, one of them. You will see this answer we did get is 4 plus root 3i, and the other one is x equals 4 minus. So this is what? So you had an I there. So these are called two complex. That's all they are asking you to write this. Two complex solution. You're done. That's it. But the thing is the graph part, the it means the what does this mean? The graph, the parabolic graph does not does not touch does not touch the x-axis. So